Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Batman Arkham Asylum. So it's been a pretty slow burn so far, very linear. I'm about to grapple up here and then attack these people, which honestly, if there wasn't if there wasn't any of this, there would be like quite a lot here. So here they've given me kind of a large amount of people to hopefully start a combo flow so that I can just beat on other people.
Batman, how's it going? Any sign of Dad?
Not yet, but I'm getting close.
Right, so let's look
Harley
at this
Quinn
guy.
tried to slow me down, dropped an elevator on me.
Did it work?
Of course not. I'll get back to you when I reach the end of the trail.
So seems like the black guys from Blackgate all have a burn, and this guy might be the only white character. Yeah, so you're zoomed out enough that you don't by default recognize that they are all the same people. They probably they might throw in some different hairstyles and different outfits too. Like here we have a great example. Like this is the exact same face model as far as I can tell, without the hair spikes, with the hair spikes. Green outfit versus blue outfit. But kind of nothing else besides that. And definitely a situation here where these fights are not great. Here we have another upgrade. And in that fight, I did take more damage than I would like. Allow Batman to take a instant takedown after achieving a combo score of 8. Batman can continue to chain attacks after a special combo mode. That's the only thing there. Or we just do armor upgrade, which I think is probably the better move. Let's kind of balance it between armor and offensive. Normally I would go with offensive in general, but you can see that was a decent amount of armor for what we're doing here. Meanwhile, we're still in this purple scanning mode where there is this alcohol. This door is locked, and that door is locked. And if we look around here, we've also been forced to kind of realize that there's a decent amount of collectibles in this game, but it's extremely linear so far. Like barely a game. I could see a version of this game had it come under budget a little bit more, where the fighting wouldn't have existed at all. Clearly they didn't have enough time to polish that out, which is kind of funny because, like, you know, Lego Batman exists. It came out a year before this, and Lego Batman has a combo system when you beat up people, I'm pretty sure. And it worked fairly well to just smash buttons and hurt people.
You don't have to.
Right. I don't have to.
So.
I just want to.
Okay, boss says no one gets past. Anything moves, shoot it. You got it. Anyone coming this way is dead.
So now we're getting introduced to people with guns. And of course we couldn't save those people because we needed to see this in-game cutscene. There's a massive amount of cutscenes. Let's see. So I want to go up there, but apparently from where I'm standing I can't go up there.
Oracle, Joker's men have taken control of the cell block transfer corridor.
That's not good. I patched into a guard radio. It sounds like Joker's crew have got their hands on weapons.
I know. I'll calibrate the Cowl's vision mode to isolate armed henchmen.
So
The direct approach is suicide. I need to be smart. Find a different way past them.
By modern standards, there kind of is no
So is the bat really coming this way?
thought that Batman isn't wearing bulletproof armor of some sort. And you do kind of then have to introduce this idea that every criminal that would be shooting a gun would be shooting some kind of armor piercing gun. So they want us to tap A to drop down silently. And then they want us to right trigger, which is this, to crouch. Move quietly while crouching and getting close for a silent takedown. So this is where the Metal Gear stealth elements make sense. There is an element that isn't really shown. To repeat the argument a little bit about how a lot of Batman comics are really just showing Batman in action, that you don't really see him as a detective, you don't really see him as this ninja stealth assassin type character. I don't know if we're actually getting more experience by doing stealth takedowns. We possibly are. But maybe not. But yeah, you really don't see him being super stealthy. You see the implication of him being stealthy.
No problem, boss. The boys are just finishing off. The Arkham chumps never stood a chance.
Well, good. Our friendly neighborhood rodent is on his way. You need to set a trap. He must not leave this building.
So
Do you understand me? Oh, look who it is. Are your pointy ears burning?
the Joker doesn't even warn his own guy.
I suppose I'd better warn my boys you're on the way. And hey, maybe I won't. It'll be a nice surprise.
That's decent writing considering how the gameplay kind of required you to sneak up behind the guy. It's fairly obvious he is using his own henchmen as kind of a gauntlet test to find the strongest people.
Arkham Asylum is now under
That's creepy to just be
Here's a
complete
quick update
blackness.
on what's going on. Attention.
So he only wants the strongest henchmen so he can use his
Oh, what an idiot. Should be
so he can use his
Stop him before I
special
get
serum
someone
that's
hurt.
a made-up
Really,
conceit.
It's for his own good.
It really wouldn't be a bad idea if there was a character making
Candy from a baby.
the henchmen,
Joker wants him stopped. I'm gonna do it.
but and see, you have to play the game kind of like this, because if you're not careful, you'll totally miss somebody. So you don't really get to play the game the way you want, which ideally you'd want to do this.
Whoever kills the Batman wins the grand prize. A night out with Harley. I may even tell her. Why bother? It'll be a nice surprise for her.
What's that supposed to mean?
That's a interesting line of dialogue. So this guy is here, and I would need the inverted takedown ability, and I don't have that ability, and nothing told me that I was going to need that ability anytime soon. So this guy, I guess I'm supposed to just kind of sneak around him and stealth.
Okay, no, have a good
Here you have
feeling
fragile
about this.
glass.
You guys really have what it takes to beat the bad. Not.
Huh? Sure it came from over there.
Okay. But then I have to do a takedown. And I'm nowhere close to getting enough experience to get that other takedown. I know when they were talking about this game, they definitely were hyping up where this condition terrified element exists.
Is anyone gonna help me? Hello? I need help.
You scare people. The idea makes sense. Like it does make sense that Batman probably does terrify a lot of people and a lot of criminals. But ooh, that was an odd camera angle.
Did you really think it was gonna be that easy, Bats? I've sent a few more of my boys your way. Let's see how you deal with these odds.
Joker wants him found. Spread out.
So now we've got some shirtless goons to keep it more varied, but the two white guys there are the exact same model. And they've reset this, so this is more of a challenge than anything else. I was trying to specifically have a scenario where I could have jumped down through this glass. But I don't know how you do this. Like, climb down. Like, can I seriously, like, go and take two of those guys? I need to swing over here. And I imagine what they wanted me to do was at this point have more of a true fight. But I'm not sure how much that's gonna really work. And then I just randomly hit the right bump. But like a lot of stealth games, now you're in this scenario where two of those guys are right next to each other. There's really no way you're going to be able to take out both of these guys in a combo. I mean, you could maybe take one of them out, but you're assuming that the glide kick is an element of this. You're also assuming just by the animations here. We'll just try this. Alright, see, like I'm getting hit quite a lot and then randomly hitting the right bump and just managing not to go anywhere. And he's got me in his sights now, so I have to swing a couple of times to lose his lock on. This is just really slow because you're effectively having to wait till they reset their standard AI guard pattern. Maybe I don't need as much armor as I thought, considering how that didn't really do but a quarter of my health. But I imagine the guns will get stronger. There's no searching the enemies or picking up any like collectibles off of them. That's, I guess, nice. So what we're looking for here in this whole area is to see if there's any collectibles, which I suspect there aren't. So yeah, there's a whole system here, but that whole system doesn't really work. Like that, If there are collectibles in this whole area, I'm not seeing them. And Batman's going to want to constantly be in the higher sections. So it's the lower sections that you're going to have to search a lot more. And yeah, I do think that if you come back into the game a lot later, once you can unlock and hack the Wayne Tech security, which is its own thing, that's when you would be able to come back and play the game as a completionist. But at the moment, we're getting these challenges, these small combat sections. Like, there definitely wouldn't have been a game here had the combat fight sections not existed. That's undeniable. But they add so little that it is questionable. Alright, so there seems to be no way to punch the glass or break the glass. So yeah, this glass is here just for an artistic reason right now, but later on it will, in other sections of the game, I guess we'll have glass sections that, and I'm not close enough to get to that gargoyle, and then not agile enough to get up that way, so I have to actually just climb. And is this, like, is that a person? Franklin Bones, one of Joker's inside man, deceased. How can he be deceased? Oh, because he's strapped to a chair.
Figured out how I was tracking Gordon. Officer Bowles' trail stops here.
Oh. So they killed this guy. I guess he deserved it. Franklin Bowles. And now getting hacking on our radio.
Yes, it is I, Edward Nigma, the Riddler, and more importantly, your intellectual superior. My genius has allowed me to easily hack into your primitive communications. My goal is simple. You complete a series of amusingly taxing challenges and, well, you'll see. Ready for your first one? Good. But be careful. Don't cut yourself on this sharply observed portrait.
So we have a Edward Nigma section here that we riddle, solve.
I would have expected a child to work that one out, let alone the world's greatest.
The Arkham guy's name is Sharp. And so we've done 11 of 240 Edward Nigma Riddler clues.
Can you solve them all? Will you find all my trophies? Are you ready to give up? Your puny mind is no match for my own.
So it looks like you're probably just going to get experience for doing these. So we've smashed 10 of those annoying Joker teeth. We've destroyed 5 infernal items, Joker teeth. We've scanned one of the Chronicles of Arkham. We've, let's see, maybe missed one of those? Let's see. We found the Riddler trophy. This...
You don't know jack about Gotham. Tune in to find out.
So we probably haven't done this one with the key on it, but we've done several others. Seems like...
Where would you find my home sweet home?
Seems like you're just getting a lot of riddles here. And with the fact that there is DLC, that it was PlayStation exclusive, you kind of also know that this could have been DLC and cut out of the main game, but the game would have been incredibly shorter. You really needed him.
A puzzle has many sides, but only some are visible.
So, they want you to continue to destroy teeth. This one is blinking. I don't know exactly why. These others seem to unlock a reward, where this one doesn't unlock a reward. And what I guess is weird here is it doesn't feel like there's a page swapping mechanic here. Like, I'm going to the left, I'm going to the right. If I hit the right bump, it just goes to the character bios, which we're going to slowly fill that in, but it is going to be mostly a focus on just Joker and Riddler stuff. And in the more open world Arkham City, where you're swinging around the entire city, finding the Riddler things are a lot more rewarding because it's not so intensively combined and compressed into just one area. So the only thing I can see is this is the intensive treatment lobby, and where we are right now is intensive treatment lobby.
Batman, over here. I saw you clear the room.
So I hid like a coward. I guess in all fairness, you should probably hide like a coward when these people are causing so much damage. So we are in the same area. I guess that explains that. Alright. Have we done this?
Puzzle has many sides, but only some are visible.
Alright. So many sides, but only some are visible. So there's something in here, and you kind of have to assume that it is in kind of this area. See, we can even see a Edward Nigma Riddler symbol here. Let's see. So it is somewhere in here. Do we really need to be in scan mode to look for it? Possibly not. We're looking for something that wouldn't normally just be here. Yep. No security gate controls, still don't mean anything. And they won't for quite a while. Here's an interview tape we missed.
Patient interview number 1.
So, I'm your first, am I, Toots? You know what they say, you never forget your first time. I'll try to make it.
Apologies about the mouse always moving to
already
the
have.
area right here.
Do the things you do.
It seems like it's just gonna do that.
Fame, notoriety, a desire to stand out from the crowd, a wicked sense of humor.
You're good. How did you figure me out, Doc? I've had doctors poking around in here for years, and no one was as astute, and if you don't mind my saying, beautiful as you.
Really? You're just playing with me.
Well, you'll never know, will you? Unless...
Unless what? Tell me.
Yeah, it's so weird that Dr. Harleen would use the Harley Quinn fake voice. Like, of course the Harley Quinn voice has always been an affectation, a made-up voice. for a made up personality, split personality, or just insane mental breakdown that Dr. Harley Quinn made. One of the comic book writers that I do kind of enjoy following is actually doing a run of Harley Quinn. I don't know if I can pronounce their name correctly. It's something like Steven Sejapin or something along that line. Solution. Oh, okay. I remember now. See how we have here a question mark with no dot? I have to align the camera so we're basically playing Pokemon Snap. And I remember this being kind of bad so that the dot can be seen. And you kind of have to adjust it.
Yourself, Dark Knight. It only gets harder from here.
So that'll give us more experience. And yes, you cannot see either parts of the Riddler puzzle outside of this scan mode. So yeah, just like doing this over and over again to get the angle just perfectly kind of sucks. I guess that the good news is the bat symbols tells us this unlocks a more experience. It seems like it is just more experience. By the way, you may also know that notice the mouse went right back up. But in all honesty, I can't even suggest the new Harley run, because even though it is going to be, for the most part, I imagine just a side story that does not actually combine and isn't really canon, for whatever that means, in the Batman universe. The fact that DC is about to reboot again, it's so dumb how DC reboots. Like they do it every 3 or 4 years because it gets them a few new subscribers, fewer and fewer every time they reboot, and then they start losing subscribers very quickly after the first 6 issues or so. There's so much around the idea of locking people into annual subscriptions that's all it really is. DC has become a lot like a magazine club, or something like that. Whereas Marvel, for the most part, has tried to stay in the same universe and not really reboot too much. But then, in all fairness, Marvel has ignored a lot of their things as just technically being in canon but not being mentioned. And they certainly did make some major changes that people are still talking about, such as getting rid of Mary Jane as Peter Parker's wife at one point, or more recently, kind of not having Peter Parker even be the main Spider-Man of focus, moving Captain Marvel or Shazam out of being the character named Captain Marvel, and then adding another Captain Marvel who's a female, a white lady, and then they have a Miss Marvel who is a female teenage, a Middle Easterner. So there definitely have been some shifts of character. They threw in female Thor at one point, and then had to kind of quickly bring back Thor. So they have done gimmicks that have not completely rebooted the entire universe, which is extreme, but Marvel certainly has done things. The whole Civil War first run in Marvel, I hear is really, really good, but then there's been like 2 or 3 other Civil War like series. It's so here we take note that we have to talk to this guy.
It was a massacre.
This
Balls
guy
kept
has a
walking in, telling everyone to
goatee,
cover the front entrance.
but his face model
Said something
looks
about Joker's armor
very
coming through the
much
main gate.
like the Blackgate
2 of my guys
prisoners.
moved to the exit, and Frank shot him dead. They never stood a chance.
Was Bowles alone?
Thought he was. Then I saw Harley Quinn. She was surrounded by Blackgate prisoners. They were just killing everyone in the room. I had no choice. I got in here, locked the door.
His microphone is really out of scale, and
someone
his
with them.
outfit
It looked like the commissioner.
doesn't really
Bowles
fit his
is
body
They
type.
carried on without him. Must have outlived his usefulness.
Good. He was scum.
It's kind of funny that Batman doesn't have like a whistleblower line. Like that would be really helpful for him to have. See, it seems like this security guy knew that Bowles was dirty, so why isn't there a way that this security guy could have let, at the very least, Batman, who's unaffiliated with Arkham Asylum, know, if not whistleblow on Bowles to the appropriate authorities? That's kind of silly. Yeah, I'm fairly certain that that guy, his face model, is at best a slight modification of the Blackgate prisoners. They really want you to run through this game and not look at any face models other than Batman. And then, of course, Batman has this gray suit comic book physique of a huge chest, and to try and balance that out, even that guy in the cutscene had a pretty huge chest. This is actually rather silly looking. It makes Batman look more like a bodybuilder than anything else. I think we may actually get outside. Maybe. Nope, we just walk through a doorway and then we're effectively in a different area. So here's something that we'd have to blow up to get later. And since we can't do that, unless there was some trick where I could do where I could jump and grapple and walk around the edge. Yeah, I don't even think that would help me, come to look at it. Yeah, I need to blow up this wall to get that. Here we're getting some background sound effects. Some kind of music. But do we need to check every single room we're in? Because we're in the utility corridor. I guess, maybe?
You don't know jack about Gotham. Tune in to find out.
So there is another riddle in here. Of course, I don't know what frequency you would tune in to Jack.
We apologize for this interruption to our regular broadcast. Jack Ryder is live from the Gotham Bay area with some breaking news.
This is Jack Ryder with breaking news in the Gotham Bay. We are getting reports of an armed siege on Arkham
Where
Island.
is this radio?
2 minutes ago, Joker broadcast to all news channels this chilling message.
The voice of your new
Not much of a like dressing room for the guards, or it's like females go on one side and males go on the other side, and then you can stand on this platform and look at anybody dressing pretty easily. So here's the radio, and we scanned it, and that gave us a character bio.
We'll be right here, reporting live on any developments. Back to the studio.
They give teases here like there's going to be a way that you get off the island. That is completely untrue. Yeah, you spend the entire game in Arkham. Can you hear me now? Let's see. I can hear, you can hear me, but I can't hear the game because my microphone unfortunately has caused this, started breaking. So can I get this to work back? Start, audio options, sound effects, resume. Let's see. So because of the game speaker ducking out, because the microphone, which is also the output Blue Yeti microphone, I've had it for several years, but it's definitely having trouble now. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to fix this. Yeah. So I think we're gonna have to end the game right here. Like, just end this episode right here, because there's no way to bring it back. It lost the pipe, it lost the connection, it lost the channel. And even though I unplugged my microphone and replugged it in, that's still not good enough. So yeah, we're gonna have to kind of abruptly end here. Apologies for that. I'm trying to wait until a new microphone goes on sale to replace it, and trying to live with this one for as much as possible. So yeah, apologies there. And I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said. We'll very possibly restart from a checkpoint and have to do the same scanning of the radio from this area, but I imagine we got a checkpoint when we exited, walked through that doorway. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.